Hello, friends. I'm a little shiny today. I'm just gonna go right out and say that. But that's not why we're here, right? It's not important. We're here today because it's Thursday. And there's another episode of Inside Star Citizen. So we're gonna take a look into this latest weekly update into Star Citizen development. See if there's any interesting things. I'll give some context if it needs it. But for the most part, just make some useless commentary. A couple jokes here and there and oohs and ahs. So let's see what we've got this week. I just gotta say, can we please have these camera controls? So for all my machinima creators out there, I know you're crying for it.
Come on. You're going to do something that we've not done in Star Citizen before. You're going to be forcibly boarding another ship.
Ooh, I love some forcible ship probing.
You know, with the ships, it's always an advancement, right? So the Anvil Legionnaire is our new ship. It's a boarding ship.
Oh my gosh. Yo! Okay, I've seen like a little... I haven't really seen this yet. I just got back from somewhere. This looks freaking cool. This looks like a mixture between like a Pelican from Halo, that ship from Elite Dangerous, and then that other ship from Aliens. It's definitely Anvil. I like it. It's like a Valkyrie got smushed in the hips.
It's
a Valkyrie with hips.
2-man crew, and then 8 people in the back. And basically, it's
smushed in the waist
for a hostile takeover. I think this is a very sort of iconic-looking ship.
That's not expected.
Takeover.
Is that a landing configuration? So 2 decks. It's kind of laid out similar to a Valkyrie, but with a full deck on both. Looks much skinnier. Oh, and like a boarding tube in the front. Wow, that's interesting. Looks like a little tongue. That. Sorry.
Very sort of iconic-looking ship. We did some really cool stuff in like the experimental phase. We had like sort of crazy arms and things that could basically sort of latch onto ships. But I mean, ultimately, because you've got to take into account all the other ships that are in the universe that can be
that
boarded,
looks like Asperia.
You kind of have to come up with a really sort of simple universal system, which is kind of why on this Legionnaire it is such a simple mechanic, essentially.
The Legionnaire fills a gap in our lineup for both.
Really weird design from this angle. This has got some weird angles. It's like a macho boy up front and then a skinny dog from the back. I like it though. It's got a nice look to it. Looks kind of like a terrapin. Up here, over here with the... It's like a chunky terrapin. Sorry, let's go.
And less lawful careers where you need to take charge of another person's ship. Traditional flow for ship-to-ship docking is the person who wants to dock to the other ship requests it from the parent ship, and it's on the parent ship's pilot to accept or deny that, whereas the Legionnaire has onboard hacking abilities using the hacking minigame to perhaps forcibly override that acceptance and allowing it to happen instead.
So there's kind of an E-War element to it then. Because this is the first we're hearing about, besides the MSR, this is the first we're hearing about ship-to-ship hacking. And I'm wondering if they're actually going to try and bring that in with the first version of hacking, and that's why it's continuing to be pushed over and over again, because they're not just bringing in the game, right? They've been doing this thing where they're starting to develop features faster, not faster, deeper, more featureful. Maybe they want hacking to be able to come in at a time when we could be working with stations, with outposts, with ships, and it's not just like a one sort of application to hack it. And that's interesting that they're mentioning that now, though.
For players that are on the lawful side, its prime use is bounty hunting. For those perhaps with more military focus, it is like Anvil's dedicated military boarding ship. And for those on the other side of the spectrum, piracy is its main role, so you are there able to attach and board other ships and take their crew, goods, or ship itself. that's the Anvil Legionnaire.
Is this another new Star Citizen song? What are these new songs they're putting on here? I didn't sign for this.
Looking forward to this one because it's a ship that appeals to both sides of the law. It brings with it a new side to an existing gameplay loop or existing gameplay loops. It expands upon them, and it's something that I know a lot of players have been waiting for a long time, is that the ability to board other ships forcibly, because it takes away that safety a lot of players have at the moment, where I'm safe on my ship, no one's coming on here without destroying me. So people are really going to have to start thinking twice when these things hit the persistent universe.
Okay. The best thing that they could do from here would be to tell us what kind of work they're doing moving us towards shipboarding, right? I don't think that's what we're going to get, but like this is something that bugs me about concept images or ships or whatever. They're talking about making a ship for shipboarding. We can already board ships, but we don't have the tools to do it properly. So like, I think this is the part where sometimes CIG stumbles in that they're introducing a ship with this game mechanic that they want to sell us on and have us like be all excited about, but that game mechanic already exists. So I think the best thing to do would be to build on that game mechanic and make sure it is right there and ready to go before the ship is in, not with it. I think this is something we should already be able to do fairly easily in a game like this. Just my mid-episode rant.
Invictus launch week is back, starting tomorrow as we welcome the UEE naval fleet to the Planet Crusader for this year's event. Now, throughout the festivities, you can test fly military vehicles for free, experience new releases like the Anvil Legionnaire, rediscover old favorites, and tour an in-service Javelin destroyer. But how did it come to be in the fiction of our...
Looks like the Steam logo right there.
Go now to members
Right
of
over
the
here.
narrative team to learn more.
I think a lot of people still find Invictus inspiring, and I think people need to know that the Navy's there protecting them. And I think getting to go to these events, getting to tour these large ships, and seeing how strong the UE is very reassuring to a lot of the citizens and civilians in the UE.
Except for the fact they can't beat the Van
When
Duel.
Invictus originated, it was way back in 2542, and this was about a year into the First Tavaran War.
Tavaran War was the first time that the humans actually needed to organize a straight-up military.
So you imagine then you have this war kicking off, they need to recruit a bunch of starmen, you have these, farmers, these people from the city who need to get to boot camp and had no way of getting there.
Because ships weren't as widespread or as common among the public at that time.
The ship named the Invictus was tasked with going around to all the systems and gathering up the recruits.
As
Kidnap
a way
'em.
to not only kind of like drum up
Dr. Halsey them.
some support for the war effort, but to also bring them into basic training.
And that's kind of how this event started. It would be this kind of big week of all the families saying goodbye to the young recruits reporting to war, and it kind of evolved from there.
So over the years, under the Messer regime, some criticized their Invictus events as being a little too political, a little bit too focused on the propaganda. But once the Messer regime fell in 2792, the event returned back to its roots about focusing on the Navy and the support and the really cool ships and equipment that they use
Yeah, the
in the
pew
defense
pew.
of the Empire.
Pew pews.
Invictus in the toy era started to be reshaped into the Invictus we know today, where there was a push to remake the Navy, to make it a noble institution once again. And so I think this more kind of celebratory aspect of recruitment and showing people what the Navy was all about, putting these ships on display, showing that we are united in purpose, as my hat says. Now, there still are detractors to Invictus. There was a great showdown post that we had that showed like people think it's spending too much of the public's money, that it's really just free advertising for the ship manufacturers, putting forth kind of a false front rather than showing the Navy how it really is.
The modern view of Invictus, I think, is still that sort of aspirational. It's meant to be that sort of thing of, it's a celebration of duty in a way.
It has a lot of kind of really fun family-friendly elements to it, including very cool like stunt flying done by the 999 famous Reckless Squadron.
I mean, it's always cool to see gigantic, powerful military ships up close and in person.
I think the way that the UEE is approaching it, as this is, again, a way for people to come together to celebrate those who are putting something on the line.
So in general, it's kind of a staple event of the UEE every year, and something that a lot of people around the Empire look forward to.
So what do we...
All right, so that was kind of just... CIG will have development updates, right, where we'll get a bunch of information. They'll also have development updates where we'll learn more about the developers and the studios, more about the new teams that are coming online, the people who are being hired, or the people who are already working on the game. This time, we've got some in-lore explanation of an event. Not super important, but I do like that CIG is so headstrong on making sure that the lore and the game itself are so intertwined. You know, you get into a game and sometimes it's just like they coat the lore on, you know, you can read some stuff, but it doesn't really bleed into the heart of the game, and I think they do a good job with this one. Hell, it runs the sales. But anyways, guys, this was another episode of Inside Star Citizen. Like I said, I think it was last week. Not a super in-depth one, and I think we'll probably have another Invictus one next week if there is one. After that, I believe, would be Alien Week, so another couple of weeks until we start to see some more really good info. But given the news we got yesterday, if you haven't heard about it, go check out the video that I posted before this one. We've got some great stuff coming, so we're in for some good... We're in for a great summer and a great rest of the year. I'm excited to make some content on that, and yeah, thank you guys for coming to this one, and I'll see you next week.